Hi, my name is Alireza. I'm a faculty member at the University of Tehran. Today, I'm going to talk about how are energy-intensive industries affected by carbon tax for the case of Finnish industries. So, as we all know, among different policy tools, carbon tax is one of the main policy tools of the governments to decrease the level of greenhouse gas emission by managing fossil fuel consumption and encouraging renewable energy utilization. Carbon tax is a kind of the pollution tax. The government set a price per ton of carbon, then translated it into a tax on electricity, natural gas, or etc. Because the tax makes using dirty fuels more expensive, it encourages utilities, businesses, and individuals to reduce consumption and increase energy efficiency. Carbon tax also make alternative energies more cost competitive with cheaper polluting fuel like coal, natural gas, and oil. Carbon tax is based on the economic principles of negative externalities. As we all know, externalities are costs or benefits generated by the production of goods or services. Negative externalities are costs that are not paid for. When utilities, businesses, or homeowners consume fossil fuels, they create pollution that has a social cost. So the question is that how does carbon tax can affect the energy intensive industries? To respond to this question, we use Finland as our case study. So there are several reasons for our choosing. The first one is that Finland has the highest dependency on fossil fuel imports, and its industrial structure is energy intensive with dependency on product exports and oil imports and natural gas imports. And also, the Finland is the first country which introduced the carbon tax as instrument for climate change mitigations, and the carbon tax was put into effect in January 1990 in Finland, where they only contributed less than 0.3% to the world's CO2 emissions. And energy intensive industries in Finland have a share of over 70% from the total industries and total values of the economy, industrial products in 2019. So we use GTAP model in order to respond to that research question. So the Global Trade Analysis Project, GTAP, is a global network and of the researchers and policymakers conducting quantitative analysis of international policy issues. So the GTAP is a flexible system for solving AGE models for economic analysis. So we use this model for our research also. There are some codes when you see the next figures. For example, AGR means agricultural food. So the first result, we can see here that this table shows at the macroeconomic level, the implementation of carbon tax leads to decrease in GDP, as we can see here. Some other also macroeconomic factors, such as the inflation rates, term of trade, or trade balance, or other also factors we can see here. For example, we will have some based on different scenarios that we used for our analysis. $20 per tons of the carbon, or until the 150 per tons of the carbon, based on the negotiations and expert reviews. We choose these 5 scenarios. So we will have the decreases in the GDPs in Finland, and inflation rates increases, or term of trade also increase in 2 base scenarios. And for the rest scenarios with higher carbon tax, we can see that the term of trade will be decreased. So this figure shows that changes in the trade balance in the economic sector. So in the previous table, the trade balance, we can see that overall the trade balance will be this amount of the based on different scenarios. And we can see that the trade balance of different industries was, uh, when we study, as we can see here, only 5 industries had some problems or some negative consequences by using the carbon tax. So these industries are mainly the electricity, paper, and wood, mineral, iron, steel, trade and transportations. They have some negative effects by using the carbon tax in different scenarios. The light blue color shows the $20 per tons of the carbon tax. And the darker blue color, we can see that the higher amount of the carbon tax and higher negative effect to the actually the trade balance. For other industries, we can see that the trade balance will increases. We will explain more in conclusion that why this occur. This figure shows the relative change of industrials outputs after using different carbon tax scenarios. So we can see that the energy industries such as the gas or oil products, electricities, they are mostly, they have some negative changes in outputs in industries. And as one of the important outputs of our research, this figure shows the relative change in primary production. Sorry, this figure, the primary production cost after the implement of carbon tax. So we can find here that, as we said, the carbon tax leads to higher production prices in energy consuming industries based on the amount of carbon emission released during the combustion process. The energy sources of the industries with using the energy sources, of course, we have the higher amount of energy in supply price. So, for example, the oil or gas or oil products, since they consume energy too much, so therefore we can expect that we have also the cost of the production for those industries will be increased. But why for other industries the cost or supply price will be decreased? The reason is, in other words, in most industries will decrease in Finland. Because when we look to the Finland, we can find that Finland is among countries that are implementing policies such as income tax cuts after the application of the carbon tax. Such subsidies will reduce prices and improve the economic situation of some industries. For instance, due to the low energy consumption and governmental subsidies in motor vehicle and related parts or electrical equipment, or for example, textile and leather industries, the production prices will decline, which is the main reason for the growth of the competitiveness level of these industries. So, as in this figure is clear, the growth of supply price in 5 noted industries, including the power generation, wood mining, and non-ferrous metal, iron, steel, transportation industries, is also noticeable. So these industries are industries, as I said, that are harmed due to the implementation of carbon tax and face a reduction of trade balance. Accordingly, the growth of goods and services supply price in these industries reveals the destructive influences of carbon tax implementation on these industries in Finland. Also, industries that achieve growth despite the application of or employments of the carbon tax have experienced the reduction of product supply price or motor vehicles parts, electrical equipments, other ferrous metal, textile, and, as I said, leather industries. So, by assessing the competitiveness of 4 affected industries of Finland, I mean power generation, wood, mining, non-ferrous metal, iron, steel, transportation industries, it could be concluded that these industries have the most energy consumption reduction among all economic sectors or among all the other energy-intensive industries sectors. To sum up, although the carbon tax shock implementation leads to lower energy consumption and higher production costs, it could not be concluded that this necessarily leads to the lower competitiveness level in the energy-intensive industries. The growth of the competitiveness level of industries such as motor vehicles, apart electrical equipment, or other ferrous metals, textile, and leather proves that such a statement is not true. And that's because of other supportive policies in affected by Finnish government can help the competitiveness level of the some other energy intensive industries, as we discussed in this paper. So I hope that you enjoy this presentation and these results. If you have any questions, please let me know by the following email address. Thank you very much and have a nice day.